I saw the photos on a gossip forum, nude, raw, and unmistakably mine. My hands trembled so hard I almost dropped my phone. My body, exposed. My face, tagged. The captions were vulgar. Someone had taken private moments I once shared with love, twisted them into humiliation, and offered them up to the world like I was entertainment. My first thought was panic. My second thought was Corey. I screamed so loud my neighbor banged on the wall. I curled up on the kitchen floor, trying to cover myself even though no one was there. It felt like 1,000 eyes were on me, judging, gawking. My privacy was gone. My dignity, ripped away. And Corey? He was silent. Too silent. But here is what most people do not understand. The worst pain was not just the photos. It was knowing he wanted me to break. And for a while, I almost did. Before I continue, I want to take a moment to thank everyone who has subscribed to this channel. Your support means more than words can say. And to all the new and returning viewers who are watching but have not subscribed yet, I cannot wait for you to hit that subscribe button. Your love and encouragement are the energy that keeps this channel going strong. Please make sure to like, comment, and share your thoughts below. Now, let me take you back to how it all started. My name is Ashley. I am 29 years old, born and raised in Birmingham, Alabama. I used to think I had a pretty good eye for people. I was wrong. I met Corey at a friend's housewarming party. He was charming, funny, and had the kind of attention that made you feel seen. I fell fast. We dated for 3 years. But the last year? That was hell. Corey became possessive. He hated when I went out without telling him. He wanted passwords, constant updates, and photos of where I was. I thought it was love mixed with insecurity. I did not realize it was control. I finally left him 3 months ago. It was not dramatic. I packed my bags while he was at work, left a note, changed my number. I felt free until I saw those photos. They were not just leaked. They were organized, edited, named after me. That was what made my stomach turn. Someone had planned this. I called Corey. He let it ring. Then he texted, "You should have stayed." I confronted him in person that evening. His eyes were cold, and his voice was calm. "You are overreacting," he said, smiling like I was a child. "You think I would do that? Maybe you sent them yourself." I felt my legs go weak. He was gaslighting me. Again. He acted like I was crazy. But I knew better. I knew what I saw. And I knew what he was capable of. What I did not know was how far he would go next. I wanted to disappear. After that night with Corey, I deleted every social media app on my phone. I stopped answering texts. I avoided mirrors. It felt like my skin was no longer mine. Like everyone who looked at me had seen me in a way I never allowed. But isolation did not help. The damage kept growing. 2 days later, I received a message from a girl I barely knew in high school. "Hey, I saw those pics. I am so sorry. People are talking." I wanted to throw up. Rumors were spreading fast. People I worked with started avoiding me. A guy I trained with at my fitness studio unfollowed me and then reposted one of the leaked images with a stupid emoji. He cropped out my face, but I recognized everything. My hands, my body, my bedroom. Nothing was sacred. I was not just humiliated. I was branded. The worst part was when my mother called. She asked why her church friends were whispering. She had not seen the photos, but she had heard enough. "Ashley, tell me this is a mistake." I wanted to scream, "I am the victim," but I could only cry. That night, I sat in the dark, clutching a pillow, thinking about ending it all. Not because I wanted to die, but because I did not know how to live like this anymore. But something stopped me. Anger. I decided to fight. The next morning, I called a local attorney who specialized in digital harassment. Her name was Ms. Benton. She listened carefully, took notes, and never once looked at me with pity. "This is revenge porn," she said firmly. "And it is illegal in Alabama." We started gathering evidence, screenshots, messages, dates, timestamps. She even hired a tech investigator to trace the uploads. I felt hopeful for the first time. I felt armed. Until the next blow landed. The investigator called with results a week later. He said, "Ashley, the files were uploaded from a Gmail account made in your name, using your birthday." My mouth went dry. Corey had created a fake email account pretending to be me. He submitted the photos to adult websites and forums as if I had volunteered them. My stomach twisted. That was not just betrayal. That was identity theft. That was psychological warfare. I could hear Corey's voice in my head. "You should have stayed." The reality hit me. He was trying to erase me from myself. If he could not control me physically, he would control how the world saw me. Ms. Benton looked me in the eye and said, "We have to move fast. He is escalating." I nodded, but I was shaking. Because now it was not just about the photos. It was about my name. My job had put me on suspension until the situation was cleared. I understood, but it still felt like punishment. I had no more friends, no more support, but I had the truth. And I had something else. Rage. We filed an official complaint with the police and began preparing for a lawsuit. The investigator traced the IP address of the fake email. It was connected to a Wi-Fi network registered to Corey's apartment building. The evidence was solid. But right before we could file the restraining order, Corey showed up at my door. He was smiling, and in his hand was a printed photo of me, signed at the bottom in red ink, "Yours forever." I slammed the door and locked it, but my hands were shaking so badly, I almost missed the latch. My heart pounded in my ears. That photo, that signature. It was not love. It was not regret. It was ownership. It was a warning. I called Ms. Benton immediately and told her what happened. She said, "That was intimidation. Do not open that door again. We are filing the restraining order today." I barely slept that night. Every sound outside made me jump. Every vibration from my phone made my stomach twist. I felt like a prisoner in my own home. But in the morning, something inside me shifted. I was done being afraid. We filed the restraining order and pushed forward with the lawsuit. Within weeks, the police officially opened a case against Corey. The evidence we had, screenshots, the fake email account, IP address logs, the printed photo he left at my door, painted a clear picture of digital abuse and harassment. But Corey did not go down quietly. He started a whisper campaign in my town, claiming I was crazy, obsessed, and trying to ruin his life. He even got a few people to believe him. That hurt more than I expected, because it reminded me how easy it is for a man to flip the story, and how quick the world is to believe him. Still, I kept going. The hearings were brutal. I had to testify, relive everything. See the photos projected in a courtroom while strangers stared at me like I was both the victim and the cause. But I never looked away, and neither did the judge. After months of fighting, Corey was found guilty of unlawful dissemination of intimate material, identity theft, and online harassment. He was sentenced to community service, mandatory counseling, and was fined heavily. The restraining order was made permanent. It was not enough, but it was something. I walked out of that courtroom not as the girl who was humiliated, but as the woman who refused to be erased. Healing did not happen overnight. I started therapy. I joined a support group for revenge porn survivors. We cried together, raged together, and rebuilt piece by piece. I learned I was not alone, and that changed everything. The shame that once consumed me became my fuel. Eventually, I started sharing my story on podcasts in schools, at women's shelters. I talked about what it means to lose your body without consent and what it means to fight for your name. Today, I use my voice to help others who think theirs is gone. And to Corey, if he ever hears this, I hope you know you never broke me. You only lit the fire I needed to rise. If you made it this far, thank you for listening to my story. If anything in it moved you, helped you, or made you reflect, please drop a comment below. I read every single one. Do not forget to like, share, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel for more real stories about survival, truth, and healing. Your support is the heartbeat behind every word spoken here. Stay strong, stay safe, and never let anyone silence your truth.